Welcome to the Anti-Social Chat Show. I'm Eleanor Gould, Chief Copywriter at Creative Copywriting, and here's my lovely co-host.
Hi, I'm Tara-Tamiko, but you can call me Tara, and I'm a digital marketing consultant and an app queen. Love my apps and tools. Hi, Eleanor.
Hello. So this week I understand we're going to be talking a little bit about LinkedIn, because I understand you have recently come back onto the platform, as many people have, because it's been really transformed in the last few months, last year really, but in the last few months it's really, upped its game, and it's transformed into something quite special really. I certainly think so. It's a place where, I'm getting a lot of engagement and really enjoying learning from other people and connecting with others. But you've just come back, and I understand you've got a few questions.
Yeah, I mean, I've come back, I think I was there for a minute and then I came back again. And I always find that when I post something, the engagement is a lot higher. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if I want to say higher, because I'm not talking about numbers, but the value. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, I'm on Facebook a lot, as you know, in a lot of Facebook groups. But I find that there's a lot more value on LinkedIn. I don't know why, though. I get a little bit stuck sometimes with using it on my mobile. But the one thing that I have noticed is the people's titles. Mm-hmm. And I know we were speaking about, in our last episode about small business owner, entrepreneur, and all of that. And I realized that my title is, can I say, dry? I'm digital marketing consultant. It's like everybody's a digital marketing consultant. What does that mean? So that's something that I wanted to ask you about, because I finally decided that I'm going to change that.
Oh, excellent. Well, yeah, I think the LinkedIn titles are quite important, because when you're scrolling through the post or someone comments, the first thing you look at is you go up and have a look and see what they do. And exactly. I always there's some really cracking ones nowadays on there. I saw a chap the other day and he literally just said, I help you with your Facebook ads. It was that. Right. And I thought, wow, that's so much more simpler than saying something, really confident.
Yeah, like Facebook ad strategist.
Well, I don't mind that either, but at least it tells you.
Right.
Whereas, you get a lot, if it just says CEO or something like that, it's right. Like, CEO of what? And what exactly do you do? Mm-hmm. I want to know, within those few short words, because you've only got 120 character limit, so it's really short. Just a bit about you that makes me want to, I'm going to click onto their, profile, read their summary, get to know a bit more about them. So I think, it's quite important. It's not the end of the world, but, to have something that's compelling there, and really think about how you help people, it's going to obviously get you a lot more engagement and more people viewing your profile.
But it's difficult. It's the character limit. And also I realized that, my area of expertise is digital marketing. That's a lot of characters there. I will say though, I did see someone's on there, and I hope she watches the show, because I really liked it and I connected with her. I think she's someone that you follow or follows you. Mm-hmm. And she said, I help clients lose weight in the no bullshit zone.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
First time I've said a naughty word on, online, but that was a quote. And what I liked about that, as someone who, often struggles with their weight, mm-hmm. there is that point, we all kind of pretend that we are on a diet and we're losing weight, and we're not, because we are sneaking everything in. And it immediately made me think, if I was serious about losing weight, then I would want to be in that zone.
Yeah, so that's where her headline identifies who she is straight away, and right. You know exactly what she offers. Says right. It straight out.
So if you just want to lose weight because it's Christmas and you want to get into a little black dress, mm-hmm. you probably wouldn't hire her, because you're just still, in that BS zone, like it's just for a specific thing. I don't know. I don't recall what she does specifically, but I do know that I would trust her if I decided that I need to do something.
So that's a great one-off example. You can't remember her name, but you can remember her headline, and that totally made an impact. So that's great, and I think that's what people need to be thinking of a bit more when they're doing their LinkedIn summary. A good formula is, I can't remember whose formula it is, but it's used a lot for USPs. It's the XYZ formula. I help X achieve Y by doing Z. And, you know, it's a one that most people use. Or you can be, you know, a bit more, you know, you can be clever with it, but as long as it really identifies what you do and who you help, you know. And also don't be afraid to change it up a couple of times, you know, just because you've got in your headline straight away, you don't have to, it doesn't have to be, you know,
the same all the time.
Worry about it, go, well, I've put that there now. Well, you can change it anytime you like. You know, just leave it for a couple of months, see if you get any feedback, then change it, give it a little tweak, because, you know, it's all about testing at the end of the day. And it's the same really with your summary. The summary, I've seen a lot of people, you know, I've worked here and I've done this, that, and the other. Actually, summary is a bit about you. So it needs to be a story that draws you in. And when I say a story, I don't mean, you know, an actual.
Once upon a time. 1971.
Although I have to say my summary is an actual story. It's a classical story about Alexander the Great. But that is because that is what I do. I'm an actual storyteller. I do actually tell stories, you know, so it fits for what I'm doing. But for other people, when I say, you know, have a story to draw people in, it's kind of like a place where they just get a little bit, you know, that little idea of who you are, whether they can resonate with you, whether you're the sort of person, you know, they want in your organization or want to hire. It's, you know, it's a place where you can explain a little bit about your why, and at the end have a hook, come and you know, contact me if you want to know more, that kind of thing. So you know, it's really important that your LinkedIn summary and headline, everywhere else where it's got your skills, everything, that's all really important as well. But you know, to just get people drawn in so they go and look at all your other bits and pieces, your headline and your summary are really the main points.
So I just want to let everybody know that my summary sucks. So don't read that. No, but I'm changing it. But you know, my business has changed over the last year. As you know, I you know, based on the poll that I did and so forth, that I've decided to focus on small businesses. So now I can write a summary because I don't have to just be, I think my current summary reads more like as if I were looking for a job as opposed to looking for clients, because, you know, at the time I had a job, building the business. But, you know, I always come back to this, like, you know how much I admire you with your storytelling. I can never think of how to make it into a story. So I'm more your bullet point person. But I was just thinking that actually my story doesn't even have to be long. I know a lot of people use up the entire character space, but if I can hook people in a 5-line paragraph, then that would do until I can build up on my story. I mean, I'm asking, is that possible? Like if I were to change it today and it just made sense, people knew what they were getting from me, and then, you know, as I, you know, continue working with clients and build up on my story, I can add to it.
Absolutely. And, you know, like with all copy, it's as long or as short as it needs to be. Okay, on the LinkedIn summary, you only have 2,000 characters, so you can't run on. You have to be concise and get that over. So it's, you know, it's a good exercise. You know, and it's a place to bring the reader into your story and get them wanting more. So it's absolutely fine. You don't have to, you know, use up all the space. You probably want to because there's not much space there. Right. As long as it does the job, that's the main thing.
But I think maybe for some people like myself, where it's very easy to help other people write their summaries and to give them ideas, I will either leave that summary as it is, or I'd be comfortable putting 5 lines on there. Yeah. So as much, I guess, what I'm saying, if there's anyone out there is like me, like, oh yeah, but I know I should use up all the space, but I can't know. It's better to change it and have a nice, concise, clear idea of, you know, what you do than to think, oh, I've got to fill up all the space. Because I think that's probably where some people get stuck.
It could be, yeah.
The advice is use the space, you have it, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
If you're not that great and you just like, I can do 5 lines and that's it, and that might be better than having something that's a bit bland.
Another thing I'd say is the profile summary, it shows the first 2 lines. So those first 2 lines have to be your hook, the lead into whatever you're going to say. And of course, you know, if you can't write it yourself, then, you know, get a copywriter to write it for you. You know, I offer that service. I'm offering that service, obviously, but you know, I've seen a lot of people struggle with that. and as I say, you know, it's not set in stone. It's something you can change and evolve over time, because I really believe that LinkedIn is itself going to evolve. You know, we've seen, you know, the explosion of content on there already, and you know, I'm learning so much from engaging with others. So, you know, LinkedIn isn't just about you putting your posts out, and you know,
Right.
it's actually about engaging on other people's posts. I learned so much from the actual comments section,
Right.
either on my post or on other people's, or what they're putting out there. There, you know, there's some really talented, educated, skillful people on LinkedIn who are giving away like tons of value.
Oh, I
So
have to revisit it.
yeah,
But do you remember we did a show, and I don't remember which one, when I said it was a bit woo-woo? Is it less woo-woo now? It was getting a little bit cryptic at one point. I think that's when I kind of dropped off a bit.
Well, you see, I've never seen that.
Oh, okay.
Are you talking about the one-liner posts, things like that, or are you just?
Yeah, people started to get a bit worked up about how people were using LinkedIn. I think it was when it had that kind of resurgence of, you know, LinkedIn is great. And then people were getting upset because people were using the one-liner.
Yeah, but the one-liner is so that, you know, it's easier to read on mobile, as we all know. If you bunch up text web content, it's hard to read.
I'm not discrediting that or the validity of it, but people were getting worked up. And then there were posts about that. And then there were some cryptic ones. And I just, and I think that's probably why. I just probably need to revisit. Maybe
I haven't really seen any cryptic ones. I have seen ones that do kind of make me giggle sometimes, but I just keep scrolling, you know, and you know, kind of tell the hard luck story, you know, stuff. I'd say, oh, come on, guys. But you know,
how I started off living in my car.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, having said that, I think it's wonderful that people share their stories, and if there's something to learn from that, absolutely go for it. You know, but don't overdo it.
It's not a self-help group, is it? It's a natural platform to help you with your business. That's what I thought.
It's a professional platform, and if your story has got, you know, something to share in a business related, then I think that's absolutely fine. And at the end of the day, it's your LinkedIn, so it's whatever you want it to be. Really, post what you like, because it's only your connections or your network who's going to see that, and anybody in their network, obviously. But you know,
so everyone on LinkedIn.
So you know, but you can choose to unfollow or follow people, so you have your newsfeed the way you want to see it, with with your top people in it.
But I would say, you know, it's the digital marketing side of me coming out, that there has to be a clear objective when you're posting on any platform. So if your objective depends on what your objective is, then it makes sense of how you present your story. And I think I know some of the posts you're talking about, the hard luck ones. You know, everybody's got a story. Everybody's had a hard luck life. I mean, you know, even people that we might consider as not having any problems, everybody has them. But the question is, if you're, depending on what your objective is for using LinkedIn, a professional, you know, networking platform, does it make sense to share that? Like, and for me, do I want my potential clients to know that I lived in my car from age 12 to 17? I didn't, but I'll just use that as an example. How does that add? How does that make a potential client, or maybe somebody who wants to collaborate with me, how does that draw them to me?
Well, I guess if you've got a business story, or it's in some way making you a bit more human, then, you know, I don't have a problem with those kind of posts, but I don't think they should be overdone, because if I read a post, I think it's interesting to get to know a person, but also, you know, I want some value for me. I want it to be relatable, so that I can, you know, get to know that person more. So I agree with what you're saying. It can get a bit much, and you know, at the end of the day, it is a professional platform. And I always remind myself of the Marlene Dietrich quote, which I say all the time, and that's be careful what you show and what you don't. And I mean, she was, you know, a master at, you know, but she was a seductress, wasn't she? So, you know, she knew exactly what to show and what she did, just as powerful either way. And I think with social media in general, that's something that we'd all do well to remember. You know, you don't have to give everything, you know.
Yeah,
keep a little bit of mystique. just for you.
No, I agree. It would be interesting to see what people think. Love to know your thoughts on some of the things that we talked about, but specifically I'd like to know how people feel about sharing, I guess, an intimate story about themselves. Is that the right word, intimate? I don't know.
Well, there has been a lot of people who have done these themes where they've talked about very personal things. There has been a campaign, I can't remember what the hashtag was, and you know, some of these videos and whatnot were very powerful indeed, and I'm quite sure a lot of people got some value from them because they could relate to them. But I wouldn't do it all the time, definitely, because that's not the way I'd, you know. Having said that, I often share, well, that's my thing, is sharing anecdotal stories. So anything I share is something that's happened to me. Like the other day, I, you know, shared a story about when I went on a horse trip up the Pyrenees and how it impacted on, you know, the way I felt about my business going forward. So I do. Those
are good stories. They're not about, you know.
Yeah, they're stories. They are stories from my personal life or things that have happened to me, you know. But I wouldn't ever reveal, you know, something that was too personal, because unless I thought it had some kind of value or I was helping others. And this
is what it comes back to, you know. Do I want potential clients or potential collaborators knowing something about? I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but is that the platform to share it in? You know, that's the question.
That's the question we'll ask other people then.
Yeah.
That's what we want to know. So what do you think? Can you overshare?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you be too human? Can you be too authentic?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that word is weird.
A word.
Okay.
So I think that's all we were going to speak about today.
Yeah.
Unless you had anything else to add.
No.
Yeah.
No, but I would like to know though a little bit more about your service you offer, because maybe I need to have you help me with my stuff.
Oh, you'll always have my help, Tara, as you know. Yeah, I do offer a service for LinkedIn summaries, and within that package I also suggest headlines you can use as well. Brilliant. So yeah, that's something I'm offering at the moment. It's a new thing.
Okay,
because I see so many people struggling with it. But yeah, so just get in contact, and if anyone's interested, and I'll be happy to see if I can help you. But generally, you know, what we said before, you know, this is your LinkedIn. So what you do with it is entirely up to you. That's what I like to say now.
Brilliant.
LinkedIn's changing so much. But yeah, so everybody, we want to know, can you bring too much you to LinkedIn?
Nicely put. All right then.
So that's goodbye from me. Love, peace and great coffee.
And adios from me.
Bye.
Bye.